then why we are going to talk about that? What might be the reason behind this particular inclusion in the policy document in the mind of those who were involved in drafting committee of the NEP 2020? This is the point of discussion and deliberation. So my talk will be divided into three important parts. First part, I will be talking about what we expect from education in general. What we expect as a teacher, as a parent, as a guardian, as a common citizen of the country, as a common man of the country. When we send our children to schools and colleges and universities, what we expect from the teachers and the universities and colleges, what they are supposed to do, what we expect from them, the teachers, the universities and the college, what they are supposed to do, what changes they will bring out in the learners, in the sons and daughters, which are being sent by the parents to these colleges and universities. So that I will discuss. The expectation, the general expectations that a common man, a common citizen of the country should have in their mind whenever they send their children, whenever they admit their children in schools and colleges and universities. In the light of that expectation, I will develop my presentation, my talk on holistic and multidisciplinary education. So my first part of the discussion would be the expectation that we have, that every citizen should have. Then the second part will be why holistic education. And the third part will be the multidisciplinary education and how it can be, achieved, how it can be materialized, how it can be put onto the ground. So let me share my presentation, with the help of which I will be talking about the details that I was pointing to. Hope the slides are visible. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Coming. Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay.
You can maximize if you want. Okay.
Yes, thank you. So,
okay, sir.
As I said, that my first part of my discussion will be role of education and training in general. And the second part would be concept of holistic and multidisciplinary education. And then third will be, if time allows, then we'll be talking about the human values, ethics and personality development and environmental concerns, because holistic and multidisciplinary education, encompasses each and every thing, each and every aspect of the individual personality and the to have a healthy environment around us. So let us first discuss about role of education and training in general. What we expect, as I will tell you. So when we think very critically, when we analyze very critically, deeply into the need and expectations from education, then you will certainly come to know, and you certainly will agree that there are certain important role that education must play. And if these roles are played by education, then we as a citizen of the country must be very satisfied. And if these roles are compromised, then of course there will be questions in the mind of each and every citizen of the country, each and every person working in the field of education, and the policymaker as well. So what are the different roles that education and training must play in general? So the first role that education must play is a cultivating role. Education must refine perceptions and sensitivities of the individuals, of the young minds, so as to enrich their culture and promote national cohesion. So this is the first important role that education should meet up, a cultivating role, a culturing the new generation, the coming adults of tomorrow. The young ones who are going to be groomed to become an adult and to become, different players playing in different field of the country, politics or health sector or education sector or economic sector or fine or art and craft sector and whatever sectors of the society is taken together. So a culturing role is the most important role. Education should be such which refine perceptions of the individual and sensitivities so that they can enrich their culture, the culture of the individual, culture of the society, culture of the community, and culture of the nation at large, the national culture, the Indian culture, Indian civilization. That is required to be enriched, that is required to be a culture, along with national cohesion, the most important part of this holistic philosophy. National cohesion. India is a country, India is a nation. Each individual, no matter in which part of the country he or she is living, there must be a cohesive force between them, among them. There should not be any conflict on the basis of belief or religion or region or any other aspects between or among the different sections of the society. That is the national cohesion. That's why we have been celebrating and we have been talking about India as a country which reflects unity in diversity. Until and unless we reflect through our practices, through our behavior, that we are united, we are one, we can't only claim theoretically. So this is very important, a cultural role. Now, let us try to analyze whether our education system, starting from school level to higher education, whether we have succeeded in acculturating role of our education or not, and if yes, up to what extent, if not, why not. This is the point of discussion and deliberation. I'm not going to ask you an answer in black and white, yes or no. I request all of you to think critically, think very critically, and if you find the answer in positive, yes, you must be very happy. And if you find that no, there are issues, then of course as a teacher, you must think what should be done. So this is a acculturating role. Now the second important role of education is combative role. Education must enable each and every citizen of the country, each and every graduates of the country to fight against the destructive tendencies within the individual and destructive forces within the society. Because this is at both the ends. We all have different types of forces, different types of tendencies, positive as well as negative, within us. Within us. Why we have negative attitude towards someone? Why negative behavior towards someone? Why have any kind of jealous or any kind of negative thinking towards some individual, some society, some community, your neighbor, or anybody else, your colleague, your peer group? Why? Why not? We are very happy. Why we are not? We don't feel happiness when others are developing because of some reason. I myself is not developing, but others are developing. Why I'm not happy with the development of others? So there have been destructive tendencies within the individual, and there are destructive forces within the society, around the community, in different parts of the world, different parts of the country, on the name of racism, casteism, regionalism, communalism, sectarianism. So different isms are there that we observe in our society, in our community, at the national level and global level. So what education is doing? What education is doing? Why education is not able to refine their minds and their perceptions Why education is not able to enable these individuals to fight against these forces, fight to themselves and fight to others outside their own personality, so that peace can prevail, peace can exist, and such negative forces and negative tendencies, destructive tendencies may be avoided. If, despite having a very comprehensive system of education that we have in the country, if these problems persist, then there will be question mark in the entire system of education. Whether this system belongs to India or whether this system belongs to UNESCO or UNICEF or UNO or any other, organization of the world, there will be question mark. So this is the second important role that education is supposed to play at all levels of education. Now, the third important role that education must play is a liberating role. Why we provide education to our children? Why education is essential for each and every citizen of the country? Why now we are talking about global citizenship? Citizen having no any kind of biasness. Citizens who know how to read and write must be, literate citizens. And we have been, literacy drive campaign, which is still going on throughout the country. So liberating not only from illiteracy, but all kinds of separation and all kinds of superstition which are prevailing in the society, in the community. That is the liberating role of education. People from science background in India, outside India, through different UN platforms, working towards, towards popularization of science at global level through UNESCO. Why this is required to popularize science at global level? And why India also worked towards this for a long duration of time, for long years, just to develop scientific temperament, scientific attitude among the citizens of the country, because through this part of personality, through this scientific temperament and scientific attitude, that superstition can be removed from the society. Superstition can be eradicated from the society. But still superstition is there. The still operation of one section of society is being done by other section of society. Haves are oppressing have-nots. The rich section of the society are oppressing those who are poor in the society, economically well off and economically weaker section of society. So different kinds of oppression are observed at different parts of the world. This is again the role of education, that education should liberate these things from the society. Citizens must be educated in such a way that they can feel liberation from ignorance, from superstition, from oppression of all kinds. Why we are talking about empowerment of girls, empowerment of women, empowerment of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, empowerment of the weaker section of society? Any capability is talking about, has included basically very important terms. SEDGs, socio-economically disadvantaged groups, SEDG. Thinking about that. So this is liberating role of education. Again, you can analyze up to what extent we have been doing that, up to what extent we have achieved that, and what is supposed to be done. Then you will analyze, you will find, again, maybe on the same line of thinking, that since independence we have been working towards that, but still we are supposed to do a lot. Then the next important role is integrative role. Education is supposed to be good education, a quality education in general, nowadays in present society. The education which provides opportunity to the learners to integrate themselves with the society, with the community, with the world. Those schools, those colleges, those universities which provide such an environment where the personality of the learners are opened up, they become extrovert. They become so extrovert that they can interact with any individual coming from any part of the world. They can interact with the people from different backgrounds. They are curious to know what is happening in India, what is happening in SAARC countries, and what is happening around the world. And what kind of development is going on in different sections of society at different levels. This is integrative role. So integration of the child with the society and the world, this is very important task of education. And that's why we generally used to give remarks that this is the school, this is the university, this is the campus, wherein students' personality are shaped out in such a way that they become extrovert. They have the open personality. They are well integrated, well connected with the world, what is going on around the world, around the country. That is very important. Just going to college, coming back to the home, and doing some tasks related to syllabus, getting examination passed, and getting degree. This is not education at all. This is simply, earning certificates and earning degrees, but not earning education. And we are not the colleges and universities just to provide degree and sell our certificates and sell our degrees. No, we are supposed to provide education. Education which can change the personality of the learner. That is important. Then the last important, which is last in these slides, out of these 5 important roles of education, this economic role is last one written here. But I think in today's scenario, in 2024, 24th years of 21st century, I think economic role has become the most important role of education. Most important role of education. We are now assessing the relevance of a degree and diplomas, relevance of a certificate course, relevance of any education program, depending upon its employability. The programs, the courses which provide the opportunity of employment that are supposed to be a good program, good course, and we as parents want our children to be absorbed in that, to be admitted in those programs. The programs which can earn respect and dignity and money, which can improve your economic status in the society. That is economic role. Education must enable learners to be able to earn livelihood. That is very important. This is very important nowadays. Gone are the days of ancient India or medieval India. In ancient India, Nalanda Vishwavidyalaya, people from different part of the world, not different part of the country, different part of India, but from different part of the world, from China, from Malaysia, from Indonesia, different part of the world used to gather, get admission in Nalanda Vishwavidyalaya, Vikramshila Vishwavidyalaya, and for what? Not to earn money, not to earn money, but to earn education, to understand what is life, what is the philosophy of life, what is human psychology, what is sociology, what are the values, how life can be kept at peace, and all that. So the subjects were also different. There was not a single objective of making individual, developing individual, educating individual to earn livelihood in those days. This might be one of the most important reasons that for education, people coming from different parts of the world, they were belonging to people from higher strata of the society. Kings and rulers and state owner of the states and all such kind of things. Rich people, landlords, master of the state, kings, zamindars, etc., etc. Not a common man. But today, the whole objectives of education has got changed. Now, earning has become most important. So the economic role of education has become at the top today. And not today only, 2024, but I can recall here Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy. When Gandhi entered into active politics of India in 1915, started freedom movement from Champaran Satyagraha, Indigo movement, then non-cooperation movement in 1920-22, and it was year 1937 when Gandhi he called a conference at Wardha in Maharashtra on basic education. Experts from all part of the country, educationists from all part of the country, educational leaders from all part of the country, political leaders from all part of the country were called, invited to join that conference. Wardha conference on basic education. And Gandhiji put forth his idea. What kind of education we need in India? If you want India to be free from British empire, then we need our children, our new generation, to have such education which is indigenous in nature and such education which can bring employability to them, which can earn their livelihood. That is also very essential. That's why the whole philosophy of education got changed in that through that conference. Craft-centered education. The idea of craft-based education, wherein each and every learner should not only study science or social science or mathematics and languages, be Hindi or Urdu or English or Marathi or Kannada, whatever the mother tongue is. In addition to these subjects which were taught during those days, every student was supposed to learn one or the other skill, one or the other craft. Maybe the paper binding craft, maybe craft as gardening as a craft. Such craft, vegetable production and selling as a craft. Let the learners, let the young ones develop some sort of skills through which they can earn their livelihood. These are put forth by Gandhiji. And if you go into the history, you will find that in schools, the number of admission were very low. And those who were admitted in class 1, 2, 3, most of them used to drop out before reaching class 10. Only a few could reach class 10 because of so many factors, including the poverty throughout the country. That's why Gandhi said, let them learn along with the subjects some craft, so that if they drop out after class 5 or class 6 or class 7, they must be in a position to earn their livelihood through those crafts, those skills that have been developed, so that they can stand on their feet and they can, support their family. And in due course of time, they will be in a position to educate their children to a certain level, to a certain good level, who can contribute towards the freedom of the country. They must not be dependent upon, the employment given by the British government through English only. That was the idea. So, the crux of the discussion is, this part of discussion is that these are the 5 most important roles that education should play. But if you analyze the whole situation, you will come to know that out of these 5, most of these roles could not be played by our education system. And this has been the scenario throughout the world as well, in most of the part of the world. Probably this might be one of the most important reasons of our policy makers, those who were working on the drafting, committee of NEP 2020, thought about bringing transformation in our education system and transforming our education system towards, more holistic and multidisciplinary. I am telling you more. This more is not by me. This more has been added by NEP 2020 itself. This is the chapter 11 of NEP 2020. Chapter 11 of NEP 2020, titled as Towards a More Holistic and Multidisciplinary Education. Means NEP 2020 is not saying that education is not holistic. As I said in the beginning, education has always been conceived as holistic process of development. But here, that's why the word used is towards a more holistic. Maybe we have the policy and the idea and the philosophy of holistic education. Maybe claim that we are having holistic education, but to not that extent up to which it should be holistic in nature. That's why we need to add on something more. We need to give push to the system of education. We need to bring some innovation in the system of education. We need to bring innovation in the pedagogy that we have been applying in the classroom. We need to bring, modification and change in the assessment strategies that they are adopting at different levels of education. That's why Chapter 11 of NEP 2020 document is titled as Towards a More Holistic and Multidisciplinary Education. That is the education system in which focuses upon integrated development of body, mind, and soul. All the three parts of the body, mind, and soul. This mind, this soul, and the whole body should develop in an integrated manner. In a balanced manner. All aspects of development of personality, physical, social, mental, emotional, ethical, moral, spiritual, every aspect must be developed in a very balanced manner, which we call in our education as a subject of the discipline, cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor domain. Cognitive domain, the domain of the personality, which develops human mind, thinking ability, reasoning ability, logical thinking, vertical thinking, horizontal thinking, critical thinking, all these such things. Knowledge and understanding. Then affective domain, the feelings, the emotions, the morality, the value system, the belief system that you have, that you follow. Affective domain. The social values, religious values, secular values, democratic values, the domestic values, all values that we may have in our society, in our community, at a particular time, which are relevant. Then the psychomotor domain, related to skills, competency, ability to perform skills. And that is the reason that these three domains are given, priority, and the focus is on a balanced development of all these three. In fact, NEP 2020 claims to be competence-based education. Previously, we were talking about outcome-based education and outcome-based learning. But now we are talking about NEP 2020 talks about competence-based education, competence-based learning, competence-based teaching. This is the focus. So we are shifting from outcome-based learning to competency-based learning, outcome-based education to competency-based education. We are shifting from. Again, there is a philosophy behind this shift and why this shift is being talking about. But here we must understand that the focus is on what? The focus is on development of competence, development of different types of abilities, performing something. Doing some skills. like communication skill, maybe one of the competence. Analytical skills, maybe another competence. Problem solving skills, maybe another competence. There are different skills, different competence that is to be taken into consideration. And through those competence, the achievement of the learner should be assessed, not in terms of marks only. Marks may deceive you. A student may have 90% marks, but may not have that level of competence of doing something, performing something, in which a 70% or 75% marks holder is doing at that level. Maybe that is important. Marks is not important, and that is the reason. This is the reason behind the European markets employ, people not looking at their marks, but looking at their competence. In India, we used to look at the marks. 10th class, 95, 12th class, 92, graduation, 89, good record. In European market, they used to, yes, okay, keep it here. Keep your mark sheet here, keep your degrees here. Tell me what you can do for our company. Our company is facing this challenge. How can we solve this? Tell me, do you have any idea about that? How should we proceed? And if the suggestion and the ways and the means that is given by the candidate is appealing to the interview board, they are selected without looking at the marks. That is competence. So NET is talking about competence-based education. Our curriculum at all levels of education, our teachers teaching at all levels of education, in school, college, university, wherever, must be focused around development of competencies among the learners, not only on the completion of the syllabus, completion of the content, and marks by the teacher, by the attainment of marks or grades by students and their parents. We need to make them also understand development of competence is more important rather than marks. Marks may be important, but not to that extent. Maybe at some places marks become important. Wherever there is a cutoff score, without this you can't apply for this particular examination, particular completion. That's important. But as far as the employability is concerned, your development is concerned, your success is concerned, all those depends upon their skills, the competencies that the learners have achieved and developing the personality. That is the reason that the focus is on holistic and multidisciplinary education by NET 2020. This I was talking about academic excellence versus holistic development. In today's fast-paced world, where academic excellence often takes center stage, it's crucial not to overlook the holistic development for our children. A well-rounded education should extend beyond textbooks and exams, encompassing the nurturing of emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and cognitive development of the individual. And one way to achieve this is by emphasizing the mind-body connection among the students. That's very important. And this can be done by providing the opportunity wherein they can develop cognitive, emotional, physical, social, and moral development. All these taken together. It acknowledges that a person is more than just their academic achievements, and that personal and emotional development plays an equally significant role in shaping one's future. Very important. Personal and emotional development. Personal and emotional qualities are very important. Maybe there are people who may have high achievers in terms of marks, but when they are inducted into a company, into an organization, wherein he or she is supposed to work with 500 people, 1,000 people, 200 people, and now you are supposed to adjust with them. And that adjustment decides your stay in that organization and decides your future. And that totally depends upon your personal and emotional development. So how an individual adjust and adapt as per the environmental requirements, this is very important. So emotional quotient and emotional intelligence is nowadays has become more important or equally important to the intelligence in general. IQ, intelligence quotient, which is more focused by all of us. As we focus on IQ, we also must focus on EQ, emotional quotient. Both are equally important. And at some places, EQ becomes more important. More important. So it is essential to move beyond rote memorization and encouraging critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. These three are very key words of NEP 2020. We need to encourage critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. What has been the most important issue in Indian examination system, which has been rote memorized based. Memory based. In some part of the country, I belong to Bihar, and I have experienced this when I was in class 12 and in my BSc classes in 90s. This was a practice that experts used to give. The teachers used to give important questions. 10, 12 important questions are given. Even out of those, you will get 5 questions certainly, and you can pass examination with first division. With first division, no issue. And nowadays, the scenario is entirely different. Go into the government college, government university, attendance is very low. Go in coaching centers, attendance is very high. So this kind of scenario has developed. So we need to transform this. We need to transform, convert, modify our rote memorization based education and examination system to a system wherein we can, inculcate among the learners critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. These are the buzzword of the economic world nowadays. Those people who are having high level of creativity, high level of problem solving skills, high level of critical thinking, they are being hired by private companies as well, and they are being paid in proportionate to their level of creativity and problem solving, level of innovation, that's creativity. Sundar Pichai is one of the most important example of this world, heading Google. So we need to adopt innovative teaching methods to stimulate community development of the learner. We cannot rely upon just delivering lecture in the classroom in colleges and universities, which has been the fashion. I recall my class, BSc class, and 12th also, which was in college. Teachers used to deliver lecture simply, start to finish. No scope of question, no scope of question answer, no scope of discussion. So those are those who are a smart student, those who can make class notes, those whose background is good, those who are having basic understanding which is of good level, they can understand the class very well. But for weaker sections of the class, the weaker students of the class, those who may not have good communication skills, those who may not have good command on English, the means of communication of the teacher, they may lag behind in making class notes and understanding the concept being taught by the teacher. Then you are compelled either to join their tuitions or self-study to the extent that you can do. And if both these are not possible, then you will certainly lag behind throughout your career. That is not required nowadays. That will not work in this generation. We need to have pedagogical input in a different fashion, wherein discussion and deliberation must go on in the classroom. We must provide opportunity to the learners to do work on some projects, like project-based learning. We must provide learners in the classroom to have discussion, not rely only on listening lecture. Have group discussion in the class. Make 2, 3, 4 groups in the class and whole group discussion. Teacher to the whole class discussion, whole class to the teacher discussion. So many channels of communication must be open through which we can, ignite the minds of the learner to become, more creative and more intelligent, or more, understanding, developing understanding of it. The exposure to diverse subjects is also very important. Exposure to diverse subjects, which MET is trying to provide. It's trying to provide. Now the house is open, the door is open for the learners to study whatever they want to study, by melting down the boundaries between the disciplines of science and arts and commerce. Anybody can study any subject. Of course, there are some reservations which we have in our mind, you may have in your mind, that requires to be discussed, to have a good discussion at all. We need to have discussion. But this opportunity must be provided to the learner to study whatever they want to study, whatever they are interested in studying. This is very important. And this door is being opened by MET through, multidisciplinary education. Through multidisciplinary education. And one very important thing which I want to bring into discussion is that, to my understanding, whatever I understand, and hopefully you may agree, holistic education cannot be provided without being multidisciplinary in nature. So I think multidisciplinary is a way to reach holistic education, holistic development. If you have bounded within a certain boundary, some student, you have to study physics and chemistry and botany and zoology, and this English or any other motherland, whatever you want to study, bounded way, within this boundary. And a student is, desirous to study Spanish or any other European language, but you are not allowing it. How his holistic development will take place? The seeds of interest in the individual are different, which you are not allowing to study, and they are compelled to study something else. Then how holistic development will take place? The seeds which is there in the name of the interest or curiosity towards some discipline, some subject, some activity, some craft, some sort of skills. And if you are not allowing them, then there is no question of holistic development of the child. This is one way to understand that phenomena. And the second important phenomena, many times, we don't understand. Parents don't understand, teachers don't understand. Curriculum, framework don't understand what is hidden behind the personality of the learner. Even the learner don't understand his strength and weakness. कैसे पता चलेगा उसको उसके स्ट्रेंथ क्या है, उसकी वीकनेस क्या है, उसके लाइक्स क्या है, उसके डिसलाइक्स क्या है, उसके इंटरेस्ट क्या है, in which type of study he will be interested. How he or she will be knowing that without testing? Without testing something, how can you say that this is more salty or average salt is there or there is less salt in the cooked food? How can you say without testing? Similarly, if the students have not tested some sort of study, some sort of subject, some sort of discipline, some sort of craft, how they can come to the conclusion which is good for him or her, which makes them happy? Let them first involved in variety of activities. Let them first involved in variety of curricular areas, in the variety of disciplines, in the variety of subjects. Let them read novels and storybook and different types of books. Only then they will discover themselves. A very right word had just come to my mind and to my tongue. Discovery of the learner is the most important thing in education. Discovery of the learner for a teacher, discovery of the self for each of us, for the child, for the parent, for the teacher as well. Discovery. Teachers need to discover their student. This is our moral responsibility. This is our job responsibility. This is our, responsibility on the part of as a teacher. You must understand each one of the students available in the class, your subject, and accordingly guide them, help them, support them. Accordingly, prepare a plan for individualized development of the learner. So discovery of the child, discovery of the learner, discovery of the student is very important. That is supposed to be done by each one of us. And holistic development through multidisciplinary approach provide this opportunity. Multidisciplinary approach provide this opportunity. पढ़ने तो अंग्रेजी पढ़ना चाहता है, पता चल जाएगा कुछ दिनों में कैसा लगता है उसको. शेक्सपियर को पढ़ेगा तो पता चलेगा ना, वर्ड्सवर्थ को पढ़ेगा तो पता चलेगा, मिल्टन को पढ़ेगा तो पता चलेगा. अगर वो हमेशा प्रेमचंद को पढ़ता रहेगा, दिनकर को पढ़ता रहेगा, तो हिंदी नहीं रहेगा उसको, इंटरेस्ट जितना भी है. हो सकता है कि he may have more interest in English literature. So let them test. Maybe if he is allowed to study Iqbal and Ghalib and me, then he or she will come to know. Then he or she will be in a position to compare where I get much enjoyment. And that's the way to discover one's own personality, one's own self. So multidisciplinary approach provides this opportunity to the learner and for the teacher to discover the child and discover the learner as their self. Okay, now here another very important, which we have already talked about, emotional intelligence, the heart of holistic development, as I have already talked about that, so I will not exhaust much time on that. So mind-body connection in between the talk, this term was also there. We need to develop mind-body connection, nurturing learning environment, wherein we can develop a kind of positive connection between mind and body. Only then they can have a balanced development of personality. The mind-body connection is an essential aspect of holistic development. By nurturing the learning environment, it underscores the interdependence of mental and physical well-being. Institutions that prioritize the mind-body connection acknowledge that a healthy body supports a healthy mind and vice versa. Physical education programs, yoga and mindfulness sessions are increasingly integrated into the curriculum. These activities not only promote physical fitness, but also teach students to manage stress, improve concentration, and enhance self-awareness. So nowadays, these kind of yoga kind of activities and mindfulness activities have become the integral part of the curriculum in different universities. Yeah. Then self-awareness, the foundation of holistic growth. I just talked about that in my previous slides. So there is no need of further discussion. This is very important, self-awareness and discovery of the child, discovery of the learner. And for a teacher is very important, and this is only possible through discovering the self of the individual, self of the learner. For learner, that is there the self-discovery, and for teacher, a student's understanding is basically discovery of the learner. That's very important. This is very important. Now let us see these slides. 5 effective strategies for nurturing the holistic development. These are some strategies. Already we have talked about many of them. So these are the 5 effective strategies for nurturing the holistic development. The first one is incorporate mindfulness. Just I was talking about introducing mindfulness practices in the form of meditation and deep breathing exercises can help the students manage stress and improve concentration. So nowadays, this is the age where people are having a stressed life. The level of anxiety has gone up. Now doctors also suggest these kind of activities, to have yoga, to have morning walk, to have deep breathing, and all these things, meditation. These are the ways through which we can have develop our self also, and we can have mindfulness activities, so that we can improve our level of peace of the mind to good level. That is very important. Then the second one is promote physical activities. So physical education should be an integral part of the curriculum, emphasizing the importance of regular exercise and physical well-being. This has been the integral part of the curriculum from school level to higher education. In different forms, this is available. Now encourage creative expression. Encourage creative expression. We must provide the opportunity to the learners to bring out their creative ability in the form of different skills, in the form of different performance, maybe in art, music, and drama. Classes provide the students with avenues to express themselves creatively, fostering emotional intelligence and self-awareness. In all these subjects, in all the disciplines, in science, social science, and humanities, and in commerce, and all subjects, we can provide this opportunity through which learners can come out with their creative expressions. Now, foster a supportive environment. This is another very important part. Unless the teacher is supportive to the learner, unless the parent is supportive to the learner, unless the peer group are supportive to everyone, this cannot be achieved. So institutions should create a safe and nurturing environment where students feel comfortable discussing their emotions and seeking help when needed. So that kind of environment is required to be created in the college, in the universities, and so that students can interact with them freely. There is no any area or any kind of a stress or any kind of danger or any kind of fear in the mind of the learner with regard to their belief, their culture, their values, their religion, and their gender, and all these things. So the whole campus must be free from these things. This is very important. Now, peer support groups. Establish peer support groups where students can share their experiences and learn from each other's perspectives. And these such groups can be created by students through their mentors. The teachers can act as the mentors. Principal can create, the school managers and the college management committee, students dean welfare can take initiative in that direction. For each departments and each center and each faculty, there must be some such groups and support groups of students because new students feel encouraging and free to move and approach to their strengths for getting any kind of support. You may have experienced that in Delhi, in Jamia, JNU, Delhi University, in many universities also. I've seen that, especially during admission period, when intense tests are going on, the alumni of the university used to develop, different, stages and different, such places wherein the newly admitted students and those who are coming to fill up their forms, they are given support, they are being helped how to proceed about, how to go about, how to find the bank counters, how to submit fees, etc., etc. So these kind of supports are provided by experts, the senior experts. Then let us see the top 10 benefits of holistic development. If we can provide holistic development, if we can create an environment wherein holistic development is possible, so this will benefit the students in these ways. These are the 10 benefits of holistic development. It provides holistic development, helps improve well-rounded individuals. We have been talking about that. Then critical thinking skills, we have also talked about all these things. Effective problem solving methods, will enhance creativity, then develop a strong communication skill. It helps to develop empathy and teamwork among the learners, and which is again very important skills in the present scenario, in the 21st century. Empathy and teamwork. The teamwork is very important. Then emotional intelligence, we have been talking about. Then reduced stress, just talked about in the previous slide. Then physical and mental health and adaptability and resilience. So these are the 10 benefits. So if we are in a position to provide really a holistic education, and we are in a position to provide holistic development to the learner, all these 10 improvements must be seen in our learners, in the students. Vice versa, if these 10 things are improving, if these 10 qualities are developing in the learner, this indicates that the college, the university is succeeding in providing holistic development to its curriculum. Now let's see 4 C's of holistic development. 4 C's of holistic development. To develop successful members of the global society, education must be based on a framework of the 4 C's. These 4 C's, again, we have already developed. This is just for enabling and to learn and to remember and these things. Critical thinking, these are the 4 pillars. So holistic development must and certainly develop critical thinking among the learners. It encourages critical thinking in all the students through decision making. Communication skills, developing effective interpersonal and expressive skills. Then collaboration, fostering teamwork, empathy, and cooperation. So these can be developed through collaboration. So nowadays in universities and colleges, the collaborative projects are given to the learners also. Collaborative, not on individual projects, collaborative projects. Collaborative projects are different from individual projects. I can have any individual project, then others can cooperate with. Cooperation is different, but collaboration is different. When two people from 2 different departments are collaborating on a particular project. So this is a combined effort involving 2 different departments, 2 different students on a particular project, 2 people from 2 different subjects, people from 2 different disciplines, people from 2 different organizations are working. Many researches are going on in the country nowadays. Many researches are going on in Jamia. People from biological science department are working on a project in collaboration with AIMS, New Delhi. They are working on blood cancer. How to come out with a treatment, more reliable treatment on blood cancer. So similar kind of research is going on between different organizations. So within the class also, collaborative projects can be given to the members. You have to work on this project, how to mitigate pollution in Delhi, what new ideas can you bring, work on this project, So 3, 4, 5 students can work together on this particular project in collaboration. This will develop their, skills how to cooperate with one another, how to do in a kind of teamwork spirit, and take care of one another, everyone. Put oneself in another situation and think accordingly. That is empathy. Then creativity, cultivating innovation and problem solving. These are the four P's of holistic development. These are four. So if we provide holistic development, holistic education, then these four P's must be there in the learner and vice versa. So these are the four pillars of holistic development. Four pillars. Although we have already talked, automatically all these have already discussed during the presentation. Physical development, focusing on a healthy body through exercise and nutrition. Then mental development, enhancing cognitive ability, critical thinking and problem solving. JMI has worked a lot on this mental development. Then emotional development with nurturing self-awareness, empathy, and emotional intelligence. I have already talked about this. And the last one, social development, building effective communication, teamwork, and interpersonal skills. Lev Vygotsky, very famous, educationist and psychologist, who has given the theory of social development theory of learning. And according to Vygotsky, this is the social learning which is very important. If we learn from interaction, social interaction, most of the learning takes place through social interaction. The more we have social interaction, the more we learn. And if a teacher delivers lecture in the class and there is no any interaction with there is no any question answer, there is no any discussion, learning will be less. So we are supposed to develop such curriculum, such an environment where there is opportunity to have social interaction between different groups and among different students. That's why we also used to give projects to the students wherein they have the opportunity to interact with the community people from the community, people around the community, people around the society. Let's see what is happening there. Understand the society, understand the community in a better way. For that, we need to interact with them. It is social development. So these are four pillars of holistic development. Now, multidisciplinary education, as I said earlier, to my understanding, if we plan to provide holistic education, holistic learning, then we need to go through multidisciplinary education or multidisciplinary learning. Because no any subject in the world, no any discipline in the world is totally isolated. Each subject is interrelated, interconnected. Some are more connected, some are more interrelated, and some are less. But each one is, even English language is also has a relationship with scientific development, with physics. You may say, how? But you can create, you can develop some theory, you can test some theory, you can develop some laws, Archimedes' law, for example, Dalton's law, for example, in chemistry, Malthusian principle on a population, in economics and biology also, Newton's laws of motion. How these laws would have reached to us without language? So language is a means of communication. Without any language, be it Latin or English or Unani or Urdu or Persian, language of the time. Language of the time. There was a time when Persian used to be the lingua franca. During British Empire, English became the lingua franca, and today English still exists as the lingua franca at the global level. So language also is needed by other disciplines to disseminate their new knowledge, new ideas, their researches, their findings. So you will find that science also depends on language. Language also depends on science. So each subject, to some extent, to larger extent, depending upon the nature of the subject, depends on one another. And so they can be understood with the help of one another. A biology teacher cannot teach with full effectiveness about the digestion of carbohydrate, digestion of protein, digestion of fats, etc., without understanding and letting the students understand chemistry of carbohydrate, chemistry of protein, chemistry of fat. If a teacher has a weak background in biochemistry, he or she cannot be a good teacher of, these kind of topics like digestion of protein or fat or fat. Cannot be. So if you want to be an effective teacher of these kind of subjects, these kind of topics, you need to understand the related subject as well. And let us discuss the topic with chemistry in the class as well. That is integration, integrating different subjects which are related to one another. That is integration, integrating pedagogy, integrating content from other subjects, integrating, content and the topic from the same subject but at lower level. Integrating subjects and topics from other disciplines, other subjects. Integrating topics and subjects from daily life experiences of the learner. So these are the ways and means how to bring multidisciplinarity in education at different levels, the curriculum level and the pedagogical level, the assessment level, and in all aspects of teaching learning process. So nowadays, multidisciplinary education has become, a very important aspect of any education, where this has been announced that no boundaries will exist now between science, art, and commerce. A student will be free to read out, to take, to opt for any subject that they want to study. So combining scientific, vocational, professional, humanities, soft skills all together for the optimal development of the learners. This is basically multidisciplinary education. This is. And that is the reason that STEM and STEAM is becoming very important nowadays. STEM curriculum, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics combining together. And later on, this was converted to STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics are combined together. And this has been proved that integrate the humanities and arts with science, technology, engineering, and mathematics have consistently showed positive learning outcomes, increased creativity and innovation among the learners, increased critical thinking and higher order thinking skills, thoughts among the learners. It has shown, increased problem solving skills and more in-depth learning and mastery of curricular across fields among the learners. That's why STEM and STEAM approach are nowadays being used in almost all European countries, and any capability is also talking about that, STEM curriculum. And in fact, this has been implemented in many universities and many colleges. IITs and IIMs have already started using this approach. Because it has the capability to develop all capacities in the learner, develop well-rounded individuals, and it is required to lead the country into the 21st century and the fourth industrial revolution. Without having such kind of education, and not only theoretically, but I will say without putting onto the ground, which is very important, which is very important. This, we will see in a few years if it is really put on the ground, if it has been really implemented or not, that is to be seen. And for putting onto the ground and for real execution, it totally depends upon the teachers and the curriculum developer. How they activated themselves and implement them in reality. This is very important. Case of Delhi's School of Education. Delhi has, developed an idea of a school of education, a school of excellence, basically, a school of excellence, wherein they have incorporated a STEM curriculum, and students are encouraging to opt for this curriculum and work on different projects, wherein they can hone out their creative abilities, their innovative ideas, and their innovative skills. And like entrepreneurship skills are also being developed and targeted among these students. Even engineering institutions such as IITs have moved toward more holistic and multidisciplinary education with more arts and humanities. Students of arts and humanities will aim to learn more science, and all will make an effort to incorporate more vocational subjects and soft skills. IITs are doing that. I've heard that IIT Kharagpur has started B.Ed program also as a step towards becoming multidisciplinary colleges and multidisciplinary educational institutions. NEP 2020 has said that by 2030, only multidisciplinary colleges and institutions will exist in the country. So those who are specialized, basically, college are not multidisciplinary colleges, they will have to convert to multidisciplinary colleges. But of course, there are a lot of apprehension regarding this in all of us, because in India, we all have experienced, we all have seen that we have good colleges, colleges of commerce, college of science, college of arts, college of economics. They are very renowned colleges out there. And if they are converted to multidisciplinary colleges, multidisciplinary institutions, whether they will retain their, level of quality or not, this is a question to think about. And how they will be in a position to sustain their, quality and their quality of their product if they become multidisciplinary, and if they open different doors for different programs. So to what extent this is going to happen, that we will see at a later stage. So I think with these words, I think there is 7 to 10 minutes are left now. I think I should stop now, and now we should open the house for discussion, for questions, for your observation, and any of the experiences that you want to share with, and any of the questions that you have. Now you can ask questions and you can share your experiences and observation regarding holistic and multidisciplinary education. Now the house is open for discussion and exploration. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Jasim Ahmad sir, for your very interesting and very engaging presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
You have made a very clear-cut idea regarding the theoretical background of the multidisciplinary education, the holistic aspect of that. Because you started by saying that education itself is holistic. Then why we speak of multidisciplinary holistic education? Because education always have been holistic in that way. So anyway, it is very good. And now we cannot take 1 or 2 questions. We can take, I think, because we are crossing 5 o'clock. Dear participants, if you have any queries or any comments, we can have it 1 or 2 questions, please. So actually, I share your concern, your apprehension that you expressed towards the end. When we convert the single faculty institutions into multidisciplinary issues, to what extent they will be able to keep their standards or quality in that way. Now, I don't know whether you are aware of that, because in Kerala, we have a set of institutions known as Oriental Title Colleges. They
Yes.
are the Arabic colleges, actually. Now, recently, these colleges have been converted to multidisciplinary institutions by introducing commerce, then, for example, economics, etc. And our experience show that even though there is a diversity for the students, the institutions have gone down in terms of their quality and also in terms of the mandate, because the original mandate given to these institutions, that is gone. Now they are converted into multidisciplinary education. That is, concern is there. So I also share your apprehension, because to what extent we can keep.
So there are different colleges in Delhi also.
Ah, yes.
Delhi School of Economics is one example.
Yes.
There are many, College of Commerce is there in very
Ah,
famous
yes.
college there.
Ah, yes.
I myself have also graduated from, CM Science College, Darbhanga.
Ah, yes.
So totally specialized in science.
Mhm.
So if we convert all these colleges to multidisciplinary, then of course there will be big question whether they can
Okay.
maintain their quality or not.
Because these institutions were set up actually with an objective at the time of setting up them. They had a mandate. That issue is there. I don't know why they are not addressing or taking into account that particular aspect of that. Similarly, if we just make the law colleges multidisciplinary or management institute multidisciplinary, to what extent it will be feasible as well as desirable? The question of desirability is there from the long-term point of view of the society. And the development of the discipline also, the particular discipline, the research, teaching, innovations, etc., taking the particular discipline. That issue is there. So is there any questions? If there is no question, now we can pass on to the formal vote of thanks by Mr. Anas PT, Department of the Management, Assistant Professor from the Department of Management of GVC College. Anas, are you there?
Yes, got it.
Yes, and now you proceed, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to extend heartfelt gratitude on behalf of all participants for today's sharing FTP program. A special thanks goes to Professor Jasim Ahmad from Jamia, Millia, Islamia, New Delhi, for sharing his powerful knowledge and expertise on the topic holistic and multidisciplinary education. Professor Jasim Ahmed's insightful perspective and engaging approach have expanded our understanding of this crucial aspect of education. His session has truly been both enlightening and inspiring. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to the institution behind the program, MMTZ, AMU, and Grace Valley College of Arts and Science, for their effort in organizing this impactful event. A big thank you as well as participants for your enthusiastic engagement, and to everyone who worked behind the scenes to ensure smooth execution of this program. Let us to strive and implement this learning in our professional pursuits. Wishing you all very best. Thank you all.
Thank you, Anas.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, all participants. We will rejoin by 5:30 because having the last session by Professor A.R. Giddoy from AMU itself. And that's in sub. Please, my regards to you, your family, your friends.
So nice.
Thank you, sir. Adab, sir. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.